What's up, everyone? Matt Vanacora with Ask.Audio here, and I'm excited to check out the Yamaha CP73 stage piano with you. The whole concept of the stage piano is that you've got a set of really important gigging tones for your average pianist that's playing in a band or in a solo situation. You're going to have great pianos, great electric pianos, great clavs, Wurlitzers, DX, all that great stuff. And you want to have that without having to bring out the heft of your multi-$1,000 gigantic, super heavy, powerful workstation or synthesizer. So the stage piano, is a product category that is fairly recent, that focuses on just those sounds. But a lot of the companies have been, really pushing the envelope forward there with that. Nord makes a great one, so does Korg when the Grand Stage was released. So I was really excited to check out the CP73 and see what Yamaha, with their pedigree of keyboards and keyboard sounds, is going to do. Luckily, I was not disappointed. There's a lot to like about the CP73. If you are a fan of the vintage vibe of Yamaha keyboards, you're going to really, really love this. There's a lot of little subtle hardware nods to their synth volts, like the CS80 with these really cool multicolor rocker switches. You've got a lot of these nice hardware metal activation spring-loaded switches, and they feel really strong. The hardware on this whole keyboard is really pleasurable to use and work with. The knobs have just enough resistance that as you're turning them, you feel you can be very precise, and they feel really strong. This doesn't feel like on some keyboards where the knob, you pop it in the case, you're going to come out later and there'll be a little, plastic prong where the knob used to be. So everything about the CP73 really screams kind of like gig ready, roadworthy keyboard. The sounds on this keyboard are really, fantastic. The piano sounds are great. If you're a fan of the Montage or the MODX, you'll really know what to expect in terms of the pianos. So they're expressive, there's a lot of layers, you've got sympathetic resonance, and a lot of dynamics. And you got a couple of choices with pianos. I mean, you got your CFX, you got a nice Imperial sounding one, an S700. So there's a couple of different ways you can go with those pianos. And every section has its own set of controls. So I've got a piano section, an electric piano section, and then what they call the subsection, you can kind of think of it as your sample-based stuff. Some synths, some strings, percussion, all the other sounds kind of get crammed into that section. The sections are activated by just this simple metal rocker switch. So want to layer in a pad, just go to that section and just push the rocker switch, and now you got a pad. So it really is truly a one knob per function or one switch per function type setup. There's no programming that you really have to get hip deep in order to make more complex sounds. You can adjust the release of that synth, let it go out and decay a little longer, adjust the attack and make it slower, and adjust the tone without having to worry about a really difficult to use sort of setting or dive into the creating an insert effect of an EQ. You can just really quickly adjust the tone. You can do that with the piano too. I mean, we got a nice darker tone piano to a brighter tone piano. So those knobs work really well as well. And again, everything is just one knob per function or one rocker switch per function. So it's really easy to use. You can save all these panel settings to presets. So you've got these live sets over here with different pages. So, in addition to tweaking the stuff while it's live, you can save it all to a preset. You can even save inactive things to a preset and then activate them. So if I want to, I can enable the tremolo, and I've got a nice little tremolo on there. And I can save it. I can turn the tremolo off and turn it back on. And it'll remember the depth and the rate, and that in fact the effect that I want is tremolo. So you can save it with that stuff off and just have it ready to be turned on at a moment's touch. And again, that's what it's about. This keyboard is about touch. So all these settings. So with this one, I've already programmed in that I want it to be a touch wah. I don't have a control pedal hooked up, so I just turn it on, and all of a sudden, Everything's already programmed. The depth and the rate, it's all good to go. All I had to do is turn it on. Same with the pedal wah. Like, if I have a pedal wah, I can just go ahead and plug in the control pedal, like a standard MIDI control pedal to this, and then turn on pedal wah. I don't have to activate it or map it and do a whole bunch of different things and map one thing to one thing. This keyboard is really set up for, for gigging keyboardists to get sounds and get them quickly. You can easily make layers by just flipping things on, but you can turn those into splits by just, setting the region of any of these to, the left side or the right side. So I'm digging that too. So again, we've got some nice, cool, robust sound design and the ability to layer stuff in or split stuff in, bring some stuff in just at the top, but leave it out of the bottom. And that's kind of nice. One of the things I really like about this is that they really kind of went to the hoop for the sound design. They didn't stick with just, all right, we'll give you some pianos, we'll give you the Rhodes, and we'll give you the Wurlitzer, and then you can figure it out from there. They really did everything to like esoteric sound design. So it really, gets out there. And you've got a nice little switching engine in that you're not going to have like a little blip or a clip in between. So that's kind of nice that you can just go from one engine to the next undisturbed, except for the, obviously the way you play it. One place where it fell a little short for me was the organs. So if you're getting this to, have robust control over organs with drawbars, you're probably looking in the wrong place. They did sample some really handy organs, and I can activate a little rotary, quickly mappable to the modulation wheel. Well, I call it a wheel, but really it is kind of a modulation switch. The hardware aspect of it is really nice. It's physical, it's sturdy. It's getting a little strange for me to get used to adjust having the pitch up be away and to the left. That's going to take some getting used to. But then again, to be honest, if I'm using this keyboard, I'm almost never really using the pitch up. It's a stage piano. Most of my stuff is going to be focused around, pianos, whirlies, stuff like that. So that wasn't really that big of a learning curve for me because I didn't really use it that much. And this can get some really cool synthy leads. I mean, they have some nice little synth leads programmed in there. And a cool, bunch of things programmed in to automatically happen with the mod switch. But they really enhance it by activating other elements of the keyboard. So yeah, I've got this sort of synth lead, but I've got a percussive element to it too that's activated by using like a 78 Rhodes. Without it, but with it, I get that cool attacky sound. So there's a lot of elements to like about this keyboard. In terms of a stage piano, I think that they did a great job. The hardware is wonderful and it feels great to touch. I got a little worried when I saw the smaller metal switches at first, but after having this thing for a couple of weeks and just slamming on them when I was playing and hitting it hard, I haven't run into any problems and I don't anticipate that I would. The really retro Yamaha synth rocker switches are fun. Just looking at them makes me want to touch them and play with them. And that's really great because you're supposed to, in addition to being a workhorse, we're supposed to get some enjoyment out of this, aren't we? I mean, this thing really makes you want to get in there and make the changes and make the adjustments. So it's a tactile experience for a stage piano, and it does that really well. So there's a lot of pros. A couple of things to look out for if you have organ expectations or if you're looking for like a robust library of sampled sounds. Again, this is a stage piano. It's focused a lot more on that stage piano aspect of it. But in terms of the entry into the stage piano world, I think this is a great one from Yamaha. This is a valid and amazing instrument to have. And it's at a price point that really strips away, all the other stuff that you might not need. You don't have to get a $4,000 or $5,000 keyboard anymore in order to get the best of the best in terms of the piano sounds. You can get amazing piano sounds from these stage pianos. So the CP73, valid choice, 2 thumbs up from Ask.Audio. Really like it.